キャンバンはキャンバンはキャンバンはハローハローキャンバンはどうもどうもどうもハローどうもキャンバンはおはキャンにやハローHello. Hi everyone. Oh, we have a new member. Cyclops girls. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. メンバーになってくれてありがとう。キャンバンは Hello. Hello. どうもどうも。キャンバンは How are you? How is everyone?Wow.Already new members すごいとってもすごい Wow キャンバンは Hello Hello お、イリエンさんお久しぶりお久しぶり Hi メティ Hello キャンバンはキャンバンはHello Hello 来てくれてありがとう Thank you for coming キャンバンはキャンバンは Hi everyone Hello So nice to see you So nice to see you キャンバンはキャンバンは今日もみんなに会えて嬉しいです嬉しい嬉しい Hello Yeah how are you feeling? Are you okay? Are you okay? キャンバンはどうもどうもWelcome back. I missed you. I missed you. I missed you. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. キャンバンはキャンバンは Hello. お久しぶり。お久しぶり。元気してた？元気？大丈夫かな？Currently in class. Well, we're gonna do some reading today. So perfect for being in class. Brain is fried already. Oh, so sorry to hear that. Cry every time. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Welcome home. いや、ダメ。今日はワイフじゃなくてお姉さんです。Today I am your お姉さん and I will read you bedtime stories to help you sleep. 今日はみんなに読み聞かせでたっぷりリラックスしてもらいたいなと思ってます。キャンちゃん、キャン姉さんの読み聞かせでゆっくりしてくださいね。I hope you enjoy me reading you some interesting Japanese stories. わ、キャンバンは、キャンバンは、キャンバンは、Hello! カルネさん、キャンバンは。キャンバンは、Hello! Hello! そういえば、before we begin, キャンちゃんのファンクラブとのコインイベント、あと1時間半しかないです。終了まで。あと2万コインくらいで、3個目の表情追加できます。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。I'm sorry to hear that, jeez. I'm glad you can still come to the morning stream still. 頑張れ in school, okay? グルコースガーディアンになったですよ。見た。Thank you for becoming a glucose guardian. Thank you so much. そう、今日は日本のいろんなおとぎ話を英語で読み聞かせ配信やっていきたいと思います。Good evening, hello, キャンバンは。So, fan club event, we have 1 hour 30 minutes left in the event. We are so close to hitting the third expression. So close. So, よろしくお願いします。1 hour 30 minutes. We already have one outfit and 2 expressions in the bag. Very close. Oh, only 2 weeks. That's good. Arigato. I'm working on the rewards for everyone who participated in the event. イベントに参加してくださった方のプレゼント、今作ってる途中です。I'm really grateful to everyone. 本当に参加してくれた方々みんなに感謝してます。I'm so grateful. I'm working on the rewards. よし。あと1時間頑張りましょう。Let's 頑張ろうね。For one more, another hour and a half. Let's 頑張ろう。Okay. It seems like a good amount of people have come, so maybe we can begin. いい感じに人が集まってきたんで、そろそろ始めようかな。Let's get started. Okay, so today I am going to be reading. 今日はどんなを読むかっていうと、I'm going to be reading Japanese fairy tales compiled by Yei Theodora Ozaki. 今日はね、尾崎スヤドライエイさんがまとめた日本のいろんなお得意話の英語版を読んでいきたいと思います。I will be reading them in English so you can understand. はい、英語で読みます。今度ね、できたら日本語でも読んでみたいなと思います。Maybe I'll read them in Japanese in the future. Speaking of Kyandie fanfic, someone has already sent me a draft of one of the Kyandie fanfictions. Someone has sent me a draft already. It's pretty sugoi. 英語版です。勉強になる。読む前にちょっと日本語でタイトル、お得意話の名前も伝えますので、多分名前分かったらもうどんな話なのか日本人ならすぐ分かると思います。キャンバンは Hello Potatoes Hello Okay, so let's read. 結構あるね、この本って。There's a lot of things. People work fast. Yeah. Oh yeah, the fanfiction. Yes. people work fast. Okay, so let us begin. よし、お姉さんの膝の上に置いて、お姉さんの膝の上に置いて、Come over here to お姉ちゃん。Do you want to sit on お姉ちゃん 's lap? Do you want to sit on お姉ちゃん 's lap while I read you a story? 姉ちゃんがおとぎ話読んでる間、膝の上に座る？いいよ。お姉ちゃんの膝の上に置いて。Come sit on my lap while I tell you a story. Okay. いい感じ？よーし。こうやってあなたの耳にささやきながら読み聞かせできるよ。This way I can whisper into your ear. Into your ear. You wanna lay your head on お姉さん 's lap? Of course. 膝枕する？いいよ。膝枕していいよ。いいよ。どうぞ。膝枕していいよ。Okay. Okay. よし。The first story that we are going to read is Kyan welcome. You're just in time for story time with お姉ちゃん. We are reading Japanese fairy tales in English. Okay. Shrek story? No. No Shrek. Only Japanese. 一番最初に読むのは俵灯台灯台じゃない俵灯台物語俵灯台物語俵灯台物語 The very first story we are going to read is called My Lord Bag of Rice. The English name is very weird. My Lord Bag of Rice. お、ポパイさん、おやすみなさい。姉ちゃんの声聞きながらぐっすり寝てね。よし。俵灯台物語は英語で My Lord Bag of Rice と言います。はい。よいしょ。I don't know why rice to be good. That I want to be a Lord Bag of Rice. My Lord. They allow we are gathered here today. Okay. よし、行きましょう。昔々 Long, long ago, there lived in Japan a brave warrior known to all as Tawara Toda, or My Lord Bag of Rice. His true name was Fujiwara Hidesato, and there is a very interesting story of how he came to change his name. One day, he sallied forth in search of adventures, for he had the nature of a warrior and could not bear to be idle. So he buckled on his 2 swords, took his huge bow, much taller than himself, in his hand, and slinging his quiver on his back, started out. He had not gone far when he came to the bridge of Setano Karashi, spanning one end of the beautiful lake Biwa. No sooner had he set foot on the bridge than he saw lying right across his path a huge serpent dragon. Its body was so big that it looked like the trunk of a large pine tree, and it took up the whole width of the bridge. One of its huge claws rested on the parapet of one side of the bridge, while its tail lay right against the other. The monster seemed to be asleep, and as it breathed, fire and smoke came out of its nostrils. お、いたきゃんさん、キャッホー、来てくれてありがとう。今日は日本のおとぎ話を英語で読み聞かせやってます。今は田原戸田物語読んでます。よかったらお姉ちゃんの声聞きながらゆっくりしてください。My voice is tickling your ears. Good. At first, Hidesato could not help feeling alarmed at the sight of this horrible reptile lying in his path, for he must either turn back or walk right over its body. He was a brave man, however, and putting aside all fear, went forward dauntlessly. Fire and smoke, not fiery snot. Fire and smoke. Fire and smoke. Okay. Crunch, 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 crunch. He stepped now on the dragon's body, now between its coils, and without even one glance backward, he went on his way. He had only gone a few steps when he heard someone calling him from behind. On turning back, he was much surprised to see that the monster dragon had entirely disappeared, and in its place was a strange-looking man who was bowing most ceremoniously to the ground. His red hair streamed over his shoulders and was surmounted by a crown in the shape of a dragon's head. And his sea green dress was patterned with shells. He was the Little Mermaid. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Hidesato knew at once that this was no ordinary mortal, and he wondered much at the strange occurrence. Where had the dragon gone in such a short space of time? Or had it transformed itself into this man, and what did the whole thing mean? While these thoughts passed through his mind, he had come up to the man on the bridge and now addressed him. Was it you that called me just now? かわいい猫。ありがとうございます。Yes, it was I, answered the man. I have an earnest request to make you. Do you think you can grant it to me? If it is in my power to do so, I will, answered Hidesato. But first tell me who you are. I am the Dragon King of the lake, and my home is in these waters, just under the bridge. And what is it you have to ask of me? Said Hidesato. I want you to kill my mortal enemy, the centipede. Oh no, I don't like where this is going. ムカデムカデだったの？あんまり覚えてないな、この話。Who lives on the mountain beyond, and the Dragon King pointed to a high peak on the opposite shore of the lake. I have lived now for many years in this lake, and I have a large family of children and grandchildren. For some time past, we have lived in terror, for a monster centipede has discovered our home, and night after night, it comes and carries off one of my family. It's making a human centipede. No, dragon centipede. Dragon centipede. I am powerless to save them. ドラゴンの王様はムカデに勝てないの？If it goes on much longer like this, not only shall I lose all my children, but I myself must fall a victim to the monster. I am therefore very unhappy, and in my extremity, I determined to ask the help of a human being. For many days with this intention, I have waited on the bridge in the shape of the horrible serpent dragon that you saw, in the hope that some strong, brave man would come along. But all who came this way as soon as they saw me were terrified and ran away as fast as they could. You are the first man I have found able to look at me without fear, so I knew at once that you were a man of great courage. I beg you to have pity upon me. Will you not help me and kill my enemy, the centipede? My eyes are sweating. Hidesato felt very sorry for the Dragon King on hearing his story, and readily promised to do what he could to help him. The warrior asked where the centipede lived, so that he might attack the creature at once. The Dragon King replied that its home was on the mountain Mikami, but that as it came every night at a certain hour to the palace of the lake, it would be better to wait till then. So Hidesato was conducted to the palace of the Dragon King under the bridge. Strange to say, as he followed his host, Dragon King, downwards, the waters parted to let them pass, and his clothes did not even feel damp as he passed through the flood. Never had Hidesato seen anything so beautiful as this palace built of white marble beneath the lake. He had often heard of the Sea King's palace at the bottom of the sea, where all the servants and retainers were saltwater fishes. But here was a magnificent building in the heart of Lake Biwa. The dainty goldfishes, red carp, and silvery trout waited upon the Dragon King and his guest. And then they all sang Under the Sea. I'm just kidding. He needs a hero when he's gonna be fresh from the fight. Oh no. Stop. Medi's going to come for you. Okay. 秀里 was astonished at the feast that was spread for him. Wait, how did they have time to cook? Oh, あっちゃんさん、おかえり。ウェルカム。久しぶりだね。来てくれてありがとう。今日は姉ちゃんが日本のいろんなおとぎ話を英語で読み聞かせ配信やってます。お姉ちゃんの声聞きながらゆっくりしてください。今読んでるおとぎ話はね、タワラトーダ物語です。タワラトーダ物語読んでます。Okay. Hidesato was astonished at the feast that was spread for him. The dishes were crystallized lotus leaves and flowers, and the chopsticks were of the rarest ebony. As soon as they sat down, the sliding doors opened, and 10 lovely goldfish dancers. Oh no. Goldfish dancers. What? Goldfish dancers came out, and behind them followed 10 red carp musicians with the koto and the shamisen. Thus the hours flew by till midnight, and the beautiful music and dancing had banished all thoughts of the centipede. The Dragon King was about to pledge the warrior in a fresh cup of wine when the palace was suddenly shaken by a tramp, as if a mighty army had begun to march not far away. Hidesato and his host both rose to their feet and rushed to the balcony, and the warriors saw on the opposite mountain 2 great balls. 2 great balls? I can't. やばい。やっぱりこの翻訳がちょっと面白いな。2 great balls of glowing fire. Great balls of glowing fire coming nearer and nearer. The Dragon King stood by the warrior's side, trembling with fear. The centipede, those 2 balls of fire are its eyes. It is coming for its prey. Now is the time to kill it. ムカデを殺す時間が来ました。ムカデ殺せるんかな。ムカデ嫌いよね。気持ち悪い。形が気持ち悪い。Hidesato looked where his host pointed, and in the dim light of the starlit evening, behind the 2 balls of fire, he saw the long body of an enormous centipede. winding round the mountains, and the light in its 100 feet glowed like so many distant lanterns moving slowly towards the shore. Hidesato showed not the least sign of fear. He tried to calm the Dragon King. "Don't be afraid. I shall surely kill the centipede. Just bring me my bow and arrows." The Dragon King did as he was bid, and the warrior noticed that he had only 3 arrows left in his quiver. Wait, why does he only have 3? He hasn't used any yet. What the fuck? Talk about being unprepared. He took the bow and, fitting an arrow to the knot, took a careful aim and let fly. The arrow hit the centipede right in the middle of its head, but instead of penetrating, it glanced off harmless and fell to the ground. Nothing daunted, Hidesato took another arrow, fitted it to the notch of the bow, and let fly. Again the arrow hit the mark. It struck the centipede right in the middle of its head, only to glance off and fall to the ground. The centipede was invulnerable to weapons. When the Dragon King saw that even this brave warrior's arrows were powerless to kill the centipede, he lost heart and began to tremble with fear. The warrior saw that he had now only 1 arrow left in his quiver, and if this one failed, he could not kill the centipede. He looked across the waters. The huge reptile had wound its horrid body 7 times around the mountain, and would soon come down to the lake. Nearer and nearer gleamed fireballs of eyes, and the light of its 100 feet began to throw reflections in the still waters of the lake. Then suddenly, the warrior remembered that he had heard that human saliva Oh no, god damn it. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Why does it have to be like this? What are you reading? I am reading a Japanese fairy tale called My Lord Bag of Rice. 清楚じゃないよ。清楚だよ。全然清楚だよ。清楚だよ。Okay, ready. It's time to throw hands with the centipede. Time to throw hands. Okay. But this was no ordinary centipede. This was so monstrous that even to think of such a creature made one creep with horror. Hidesato determined to try his last chance. So taking his last arrow and putting the end of it in his mouth, he fitted the knots to his bow, took careful aim once more, and let fly. No, this is the English translation I am reading. This time the arrow again hit the centipede right in the middle of the head, but instead of glancing off harmlessly as before, it struck home to the creature's brain. Then with a convulsive shudder, the serpentine body stopped moving, and the fiery light of its great eyes and 100 feet darkened to a dull glare like the sunset of a stormy day, and then went out in blackness. A great darkness now overspread the heavens, and the thunder rolled, and the lightning flashed, and the wind roared in the fury, and it seemed as if the world were coming to an end. The Dragon King and his children and retainers all crouched in different parts of the palace, frightened to death, for the building was shaken to its foundation. At last, the dreadful night was over. Day dawned beautiful and clear. The centipede was gone from the mountain. Then Hidesato called to the Dragon King to come out with him on the balcony, for the centipede was dead and he had nothing more to fear. Then all the inhabitants of the palace came out with joy, and Hidesato pointed to the lake. There lay the body of the dead centipede floating on the water, which was dyed red with blood. The gratitude of the Dragon King knew no bounds. The whole family came and bowed down before the warrior, calling him their preserver and the bravest warrior in all Japan. Another feast was prepared, more sumptuous than the first. All kinds of fish, prepared in every imaginable way. Raw, stewed, boiled, roasted, served on coral trays and crystal dishes, which were put before him, and the wine was the best that Hidesato had ever tasted in his life. To add to the beauty of everything, the sun shone brightly, and the lake glittered like a liquid diamond, and the palace was 1,000 times more beautiful by day than by night. Oh, Ren-chan, hello, 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 hello. 今日はお姉ちゃんの読み聞かせ楽しんでね。日本のお得意話を英語で読んでます。His host tried to persuade the warrior to stay a few days, but Hidesato insisted on going home, saying that he had now finished what he had come to do and must return. The Dragon King and his family were all very sorry to have him leave so soon. But since he would go, they begged him to accept a few small presents. So they said, in token of their gratitude to him for delivering them forever from their horrible enemy, the centipede. As the warrior stood in the porch taking leave, a train of fish was suddenly transformed into a retinue of men, all wearing ceremonial robes and the dragon's crowns on their heads to show that they were servants of the great Dragon King. The presents that they carried were as follows. First, a large bronze bell. Second, a bag of rice. Third, a roll of silk. Fourth, a cooking pot. Fifth, a bell. Hidesato did not want to accept all of these presents, but as the Dragon King insisted, he could not well refuse. 危ない魚くん。そうだね。今読んでるのは、タワラトーダ物語です。タワラトーダ物語。The Dragon King himself accompanied the warrior as far as the bridge, and then took leave of him with many bows and good wishes, leaving the procession of servants to accompany Hidesato to his house with the presents. The warrior's household and servants had been very much concerned when they found that he did not return the night before, but they finally concluded that he had been kept by the violent storm and had taken shelter somewhere when the servants on the watch for his return caught sight of him, they called to everyone that he was approaching, and the whole household turned out to meet him, wondering much what the retinue of men bearing presents and banners that followed him could mean. As soon as the Dragon King's retainers had put down the presents, they vanished, and Hidesato told all that had happened to him. The presents which he had received from the grateful Dragon King were found to be of magic power. The bell only was ordinary, and as Hidesato had no use for it, he presented it to the temple nearby, where it was hung up to boom out the hour of day over the surrounding neighborhood. The single bag of rice, however much was taken from it day after day for the meals of the night, and his whole family never grew less. The supply in the bag was inexhaustible. The roll of silk, too, never grew shorter, though time after time long pieces were cut off to make the warrior a new suit of clothes to go to court in at the New Year's. The cooking pot was wonderful, too. No matter what was put into it, it cooked deliciously whatever was wanted, without any firing. Truly a very economical saucepan. The fame of Hidesato's fortune spread far and wide, and as there were no need for him to spend money on rice or silk or firing, he became very rich and prosperous, and was henceforth known as My Lord Bag of Rice. Dun dun dun. No, he didn't get the Dragon Balls. みっちゃんさん、キャンバンは。アンニョンハセヨ。アンニョンハセヨ。キュートボイス素敵。ピモタさん、ありがとうございます。Thank you。キャンバンはまた来てくれてありがとうございます。今日は日本のお得意話を英語で読み聞かせしてます。今読んだのはトワラトダ物語です。英語わからんけどささやきがこっちがいい。お姉さんの声聞きながらゆっくりしてくださいね。My Lord, centipede of balls. Amazing. みちゅ？ちょっと待って。ファンクラブ。Wait, did we do it? Did we do it? Holy balls. There's a lot of stuff going on. Wow. すごい。Wow. 待って。Did we do it? Did we do it? ちょっと待って。Some rice, my lord. Hi, Zach. Hello. パチパチ。Wait. 待って。Did we do it? Did we do it? ちょっと待って。今、ファンクラブを確認してます。ちょっと待って。Wait. I'm bad at math. Someone help me. Calculator, son. 計算できない。マジでできない。ちょっと待って。We did it. パチ。パチ。ありがとう。Kyandie is getting all new expressions. 高評価ありがとうございます。 んちゃんのファンクラブでね、今ゴールを達成しました。 Thank you so much. Thank you. We still have an hour left. Thank you so much. みんなのおかげでキャンちゃんはね、新しい表情4つもらえます。On the fan club we reached the goal amount for Kyandie to get 4 new expressions and a new outfit. キャンちゃん、イベントゴールすべて達成したんで、新しい衣装、新衣装プラス新しい表情4つ手に入りました。ありがとうございます。パチパチパチ。Thank you so much. いやー、ありがとう。ありがとう。Oh my god. Holy fucking shit. We did it. Thank you so much. ありがとう、みんな。Wait. 妖精さんに伝えなければ。I need to tell the 妖精さん。I need to tell the fairies. I need to tell the fairies. Thank you so much. Congratulations. ありがとう。すごいにゃ。ありがとう。Thank you. ちょっと待って。妖精さんにお伝えします。ちょっと待って。Oh my god, we did it. ありがとう。Thank you. Holy fucking centipede balls. We did it. Fuck yeah. Bro. I love you so much. 愛してるよ。お姉さんはあなたを愛してる。愛してる。新衣装はね、メイド服です。ちょっと胸焼け。リネットちゃんの笑い方すごい。Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you. ありがとう。Thank you so much. もう泣いちゃう。I'm gonna cry. I cry every time. I cry. 4つの表情ゴール達成。ウィーイエーイ。 Thank you. ありがとうございます。パチパチ。バーチャルバイリンガールかわいい。バーチャルバイリンガールありがとうございます。ありがとう。Thank you. Fuck yeah. I think this deserves some thigh slaps. これはお祝いしなければならない。We need some thigh slaps. キャンちゃん、太もも叩いてる音どうぞ。ちょっと待って。This deserves some thigh slapping action. 太もも叩いてる音どうぞ。ちょっと待って。おしょ。Ready? Ready? ダ キャンちゃんの太ももの音でした。寝てた。あんちゃんさん、ごめんなさい。懐かしい。違います。それは太ももでした。キャンちゃんの太もも。No, there's more story time, more stories. Don't worry, more stories. Yes, you joined the Thai stream. Wait, does my thumb make some noise today? That was my tummy. 今のはお腹の音でした。お姉ちゃん、私アイコン描いたよ。かわいい。かわいい。あんちゃんかわいいよ。かわいい。Hi, board clips. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. ありがとう。1万人達成しましたよ。ありがとう。Thank you so much. We did it because of you guys. 愛してるよ。お姉ちゃん愛してるよ。I love you, honey. I love you. お姉さん loves you. Hi, ねねち。Hello. めっちゃ可愛いんやけど。あーちゃんめっちゃ可愛い。お姉ちゃんと付き合って。わメディ。Thank you so much. Thank you. Thai ASMR with 3DO. When I get the 3DO, I'ma wrap my thighs around your head and suffocate you. ナイスパー。スパチャットありがとうございます。Thank you for the super chat. ありがとうございます。サファリンさん、はじめまして。リネットキャンディーです。I love you. Thank you. I love you. Hi, board clips. We just reached a goal on my fan club, so Kyandie is getting a new outfit and 4 new expressions. Thanks to everyone. So, getting new outfit and 4 new expressions. So we're celebrating because we hit the goal almost a whole hour early. So. What? I didn't say anything. 英語ちょっとしかわからない。大丈夫よ。私もちょっとしかわからない。幼いんやけど。大丈夫。あーちゃんは私より絶対日本語上手いから。よろしく。マイメロだからわからないの。Hello. Welcome. Yes, we did it, Nenechi. We did it. Fuck yeah. We did it. I will squish you, and you will slowly die under your waifu. お姉ちゃんは何人？私はね、キャンディーランド出身です。キャンディーランド出身だよ。キャ ャンディランド出身。天の川から落ちてきました。You guys really made my day. To be honest, I had a pretty shit day. So, you guys really made my day much better. なんか今日はね、ちょっとあまりなんかいろいろ大変なことあったから、みんなのおかげでキャンちゃん笑顔になってるよ。Because of you guys, I'm feeling so much better. 本当にありがとうね。みんなのおかげでキャンちゃん笑ってるよ。I'm smiling because of you. I'm smiling because of all of you. I love you. I love you. 私も好きだよ。ゆっくりねねする。お姉ちゃんの膝の上にねねしていいよ。膝枕してあげるから。Thank you so much. I love you. I love you. 本当にありがとうね。You guys think that I'm helping you, but in reality, you're helping me. I can't repay you, but yeah, I got some bad news today. About a family member. So I was feeling a bit down, but you guys have cheered me up. My mom got pricked by the global porcupine. So yeah, things are not that good. ママはね、ちょっと病気になってるからちょっとね、ごめんね。落ち込みたくない。今はお祝いする気分だから落ち込んじゃダメだよ。キャンちゃん、みんなお祝いしよう。This is the time to party. Not think of sad things. Not think of sad things. Kyandie ecosystem. Kyandie ecosystem. Oh no, Zach. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm wishing your aunt a peaceful time. I hope she passes peacefully. Oh, thank you guys. I will tell Kyan Mama that you guys love her. She was doing pretty rough last week. So but yesterday she started eating again, which is a good sign. So she's eating and she's able to actually move around a bit, so that's good. So basically my mom I don't want to say it on YouTube because sometimes YouTube bunks people, but basically she's a little bit sick right now, so and I can't go back to Candyland to see her, which sucks. So yeah, thank you guys for all of the wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. キャンママに言うね。みんなキャンママお大事にって言ってくれてありがとう。キャンママは絶対喜ぶから。I'm gonna tell my mom that you guys are all wishing her well. She'll really be happy. She'll really be happy. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sure she'll be fine. So, she did get both vaccines. so I'm sure she'll be fine. Yeah. あ、みーちゃんさん、おやすみなさい。おやすみ。おやすみ。ゆっくり寝てね。お姉ちゃん見守るから。ゆっくり寝て。ゆっくりして。ゆっくりして。Thank you, my loves. I love you all so much. みんな大好きだよ。お姉ちゃん大好き。Thank you. Yes, thank you to everyone who participated in the event. Tomorrow I will be sending out some of the presents for the event. 明日はイベントに参加してくれた方にちょっとプレゼントを提供させていただきます。Thank you guys. お大事にママさんありがとうございます。キャンママに言います。I will tell キャンママ。Yeah, but don't worry. キャンパパ is with her. キャンパパはね、ママの隣におるから大丈夫。My papa is with her, so don't worry. Well, I should tell myself not to worry, so yeah. So, my mom is also a magical girl, and she works in an area where she has high contact with sick people. So, yeah, we expected that at one point she would probably get it, and it happened. So, I just didn't expect her to be as sick as she is. So, yeah, thank you to everyone. イベント参加してくれてありがとう。Thank you everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Yeah, Kyan Papa is isolating from everyone. So don't worry. Kyan Papa is strong. So, yes. I need a big, strong centipede destroyer to come help me. Big, strong centipede destroyer. So, 安心します。Okay, let's talk about something, happy. Let's read another story. いや、みんな、楽しい話しよう。こんなの悲しいから。楽しい話しよう。Let's read another story. キャンパパ、キャンママ。Let's change the subject. So, let's read another story. 次のおとぎ話。しよう。Let's read. どうしよう。Which one should we read? 何読もうかな。What should I read? Story time of epic candy proportions. That's okay, Gio. Good luck with work, Gio. Will there be more balls? We never know. Okay, let's read. ちょっと待って。Let's read. Okay. 次 かぐや姫読みます。I'm going to read The Bamboo Cutter and the Moon Child, also known as the Bamboo Princess. かぐや姫読みます。英語で OK. You only missed one energy, so this is number 2. You only missed one, don't worry. Okay, かぐや姫 The Bamboo Cutter and the Moon Child. よいしょ。清楚な話です。This is a very nice story. Okay. お姉さんはこんなに英語が上手ですね。ありがとうございます。実は英語ネイティブです。でも日本語も頑張れます。お姉さんの英語を聞きながらゆっくりしてくださいね。はい。Welcome. Привет. Not the bimbo princess. No. The bamboo princess. Bamboo princess. あ、おやすみなさい。お姉さんが見守るよ。おやすみ。いい夢見てね。Okay. Long ago, 昔々 there lived an old bamboo woodcutter. He was very poor and sad. Oh no. この翻訳やばいな。This translation is so Why is that so accurate? Why is that so accurate? Oops. Buy potatoes, buy potato. あ、富山明さん、キャンバンは。なんか英語ですっごく貧しい人ですっごく悲しい生活を送ってたってなんかやばいこの翻訳。Okay. He was very poor and sad, and also, for no child had heaven sent to cheer his old age, and in his heart there was no hope of rest from work till he died and was laid in the quiet grave. Oh man. This is so depressing. What the heck? Okay. Every morning he went forth into the woods and hills wherever the bamboo reared its lithe green plumes against the sky. When he had made his choice, he would cut down these feathers of the forest, and splitting them lengthwise or cutting them into joints, would carry the bamboo wood home and make it into various articles for the household. And he and his old wife gained a small livelihood by selling them. One morning, as usual, he had gone out to work, and having found a nice clump of bamboo, had set to work to cut some of them down. Suddenly, the grove of Suddenly, the green grove of bamboos was flooded with a bright, soft light, as if the moon had risen over the spot. Looking round in astonishment, he saw that the brilliance was streaming from one bamboo. The old man, full of wonder, dropped his axe and went towards the light, and then he died. I'm kidding. He went towards the light, but he didn't go into the light. ジュンジェさん、キャンバンは今、 かぐや姫を英語で読んでます。よかったらお姉ちゃんの膝の上に置いて聞きながらぐっすり寝落ちしてくださいね。On nearer approach, he saw that this soft splendor came from a hollow in the green bamboo stem, and still more wonderful to behold, in the midst of the brilliance, stood a tiny human being, only 3 inches in height, and exquisitely beautiful in appearance. 'Twas a chibi. 'Twas a chibi. 'Twas a chibi in the bamboo. Small bean, small human, small human. You must be sent to be my child, for I find you here amongst the bamboo where lies my daily work, said the old man, and taking the little creature in his hand, he took it home to its wife to bring up. The tiny girl was so exceedingly beautiful and so small that the old woman put her into a basket to safeguard her from the least possibility of being hurt in any way. The old couple were now very happy, for it had been a lifelong regret that they had no children of their own, and with joy they now expended all the love of their old age on the little child, who had come to them in such marvelous a manner. Well, abstinence, folks. Remain abstinent, and someday you might also find small human. Small human. From this time on, the old man often found gold in the notches of the bamboo, where he hewed them down and cut them up. Not only gold, but precious stones also, so that by degrees he became rich. He built himself a fine house and was no longer known as the poor bamboo woodcutter, but as a wealthy boss-ass bitch. I'm just kidding. As a wealthy man. He got that coin. He got that coin though. He became rich. お金持ちになったね。おじいさんお金持ちになったところです。3 months passed quickly, and in that time the bamboo child had become a full-grown girl, so her foster parents did up her hair and dressed her in a beautiful kimonos. She was of such wondrous beauty that they placed her behind the screens like a princess and allowed no one to see her, waiting upon her themselves. It seemed as if she were made of light, for the house was filled with a soft shining, so that even in the dark of night it was like daytime. Her presence seemed to have a benign influence on those there. Whenever the old man felt sad, he had only to look upon his foster daughter, and his sorrow vanished, and he became as happy as when he was a youth. こんばんは。Hello, hello. Hello. Glad to see Kyandie upholding good Christian values. Okay. At last the day came for the naming of their newfound child. So the old couple called in a celebrated name giver, and he gave her the name of Princess Moonlight. Wait, they didn't name her for 3 months? 3ヶ月も名前つけなかったの？かぐや姫に。3ヶ月も何呼んでたの？ What did they call her for 3 months? Small human. because her body gave forth so much soft bright light that she must have been a daughter of the moon god. Oh, this is how Avatar The Last Airbender started. I'm kidding. Shaft. Stop bullying me. Shaft. Suitors from far and near posted themselves outside the house and oh wait, huh? Oh no, I read too far. ちょっと待って。Sailor Moon? Sailor Moon かな? Sailor Moon. Oh, thank you, Anastasia. Trip mode, キャンバンは仕事お疲れ様です。お疲れ。どこ系のネイティブなの？英語ネイティブです。キャンディーランドから来ました。よろしくお願いします。Okay. For 3 days, the festival was kept up. Okay. With song and dance and music. All the friends and relations of the old couple were present, and great was their enjoyment of the festivities held to celebrate the naming of Princess Moonlight. Everyone who saw her declared that there had never seen anyone so lovely. All the beauties throughout the length and breadth of the land would grow pale beside her, so they said. The fame of the princess's loveliness spread far and wide, and many were the suitors who desired to win her hand, or even so much as to see her. This is not good. Oh, thank you. Drip mode. I am always in drip mode. Okay. Suitors from far and near posted themselves outside of the house. That's really fucking creepy. What the heck? And made little holes in the fence in hopes of catching a glimpse of the princess as she went from one room to the other along the veranda. They stayed there day and night, sacrificing their sleep for a chance of seeing her, but all in vain. Holy fuck. This is so creepy. What the heck? Then they approached the house and tried to speak to the old man and his wife, or some of the servants, but not even this was granted them. Still, in spite of all this disappointment, they stayed on day after day and night after night and counted it as nothing. So great was their desire to see the princess. なんか怖いな。男たちがみんななんか家の外からこの壁に穴を開けてそのかぐや姫を見ようとする男たち怖い。壁に穴開けて見ようとするの怖いよ。めっちゃ怖い。めっちゃ怖い。何the fuck? 何the fuck? Okay. At last, however, most of the men, seeing how hopeless their quest was, lost heart and hope, and returned to their homes, all except the 5 knights, whose ardor and determination, instead of waning, seemed to wax greater with obstacles. These 5 men even went without their meals, and took snatches of whatever they could get brought to them, so they might always stand outside the dwelling. They stood there in all weathers, in sunshine and in the rain. Sometimes they wrote letters to the princess, but no answer was given to them. That's why you gotta send super chats, bro. She won't answer unless it's a super chat. Then when the letters failed to draw any reply, they wrote poems to her telling her of the hopeless love which kept them from sleep, from food, from rest, and even from their homes. When that failed, they started to write Steve Harvey fan fiction for the princess, hoping that this would help them. 今、かぐや姫読んでるので、キンなやつはないですよ。英語でかぐや姫読んでるので。Simp Night Squad. Simp Night Squad. Okay. Still, Princess Moonlight gave no sign of having received their verses. Princess Moonlight sounds like My Little Pony. My Little Pony name. In this hopeless state, the winter passed. The snow and frost and the cold winds gradually gave place to the gentle warmth of spring. Then the summer came, and the sun burned white and scorching in the heavens above and on the earth beneath. And still these faithful knights kept watch and waited. At the end of these long months, they called out to the old bamboo cutter and entreated him to have some mercy upon them, and to show them the princess. But he answered only that, as he was not her real father, he could not insist on her obeying him against her wishes. The 5 knights, on receiving this stern answer, returned to their several homes and pondered over the best means of touching the proud princess's heart, even so much as to grant them a hearing. They took their rosaries in hand and knelt before their household shrines and burned precious incense, praying to Buddha to give them their heart's desire. Thus, several days passed, but even so they could not rest in their homes. So again they set out for the bamboo cutter's house. This time the old man came out to see them, and they asked him to let them know if it was the princess's resolution never to see any man whatsoever, and they implored him to speak for them and to tell her the greatness of their love, and how long they had waited through the cold of the winter and the heat of the summer, sleepless and roofless through all weathers, without food and without rest, in ardent hope of winning her, and they were willing to consider this long vigil as pleasure if she would but give them one chance of pleading their cause with her. Sounds like nice guy syndrome. Hey, princess, you should talk to me because I'm a nice guy, and I poked holes in your fence to watch you. The old man lent a willing ear to their tale of love, for in his inmost heart he felt sorry for these faithful suitors, and would have liked to see his lovely foster daughter married to one of them. So he went in to Princess Moonlight and said reverently, "Although you have always seemed to me to be a heavenly being, yet I have had the trouble of bringing you up as my own child, and you have been glad of the protection of my roof. Will you refuse to do as I wish?" Then the Princess Moonlight replied that there was nothing she would not do for him, and she honored and loved him as her own father, and that as for herself she could not remember the time before she came to earth. The old man listened, and with great joy as she spoke these dutiful words. Then he told her how anxious he was to see her safely and happily married before he died. "I am an old man, over 70 years of age, and my end may come any time now. It is necessary and right that you should see these 5 suitors and choose one of them." "Oh, why," said the princess in distress, "must I do this? I have no wish to marry now." "Yeah, girl, stick it to him. Stay strong." "I found you," answered the old man, "many years ago when you were a little creature, 3 inches high, in the midst of a great white light. The light streamed from the bamboo in which you were hid and led me to you. So I have always thought that you were more than mortal woman. While I am alive, it is right for you to remain as you are, if you wish to do so. But someday I shall cease to be, and who will take care of you then? Therefore, I pray you to meet these 5 brave men, one at a time, and make up your mind to marry one of them." Then the princess answered that she felt sure that she was not as beautiful as perhaps the report made her out to be, and that even if she consented to marry any one of them, not really knowing her before, his heart might change afterwards. So as she did not feel sure of them, even though her father told her they were worthy knights, she did not feel it was wise to see them. That's right, girl. They are all suspicious. "All you say is very reasonable," said the old man. "But what kind of men will you consent to see? I do not call these 5 men who have waited on you for months light-hearted. They have stood outside this house through winter and the summer, often denying themselves food and sleep so that they may win you. What more can you demand?" Sounds like your average dick measuring contest. Not impressive at all. Then Princess Moonlight said she must make further trial of their love before she would grant their request to interview her. The 5 warriors were to prove their love by each bringing her from the distant countries something that she desired to possess. That same evening, the suitors arrived and began to play their flutes in turn and to sing their self-composed songs, telling of their great and tireless love. Oh my gosh, these guys are SoundCloud rappers now. No. The bamboo cutter went out to them and offered them his sympathy for all they had endured and all the patience they had shown in their desire to win his foster daughter. Then he gave them her message, and that she would consent to marry whosoever was successful in bringing her what she wanted. This was to test them. So, the 5 all accepted the trial and thought it was an excellent plan for it would prevent jealousy between them. Princess Moonlight, I brought you my mixtape. Yes, exactly. These guys sound like the SoundCloud rappers who, at the beginning of every song, they're like, "Hey, you already know who it is," and it's like, "No, we don't. We don't know who it is. Who you be?" Princess Moonlight then sent word to the first knight that she requested him to bring her the stone bowl which had belonged to Buddha in India. The second knight was asked to go to the mountain of Horai, said to be situated in the eastern sea, and to bring her a branch of the wonderful tree that grew on its summit. The roots of this tree were of silver, the trunk of gold, and the branches bore as fruit white jewels. The third knight was told to go to China and search for the fire rat and bring her its skin. Chinese ratatouille. The fourth knight was told to search for the dragon that carried on its head the stone radiating 5 colors and to bring the stone to her. The fifth knight was to find the swallow which carried a shell in its stomach and to bring the shell to her. The old man thought these were very hard tasks and hesitated to carry the messages. But the princess would make no other conditions, so her commands were issued word for word to the 5 men, who, when they heard what was required of them, were all disheartened and disgusted at what seemed to them the impossibility of the tasks given them, and returned to their homes in despair. But after a time, when they thought of the princess, the love in their hearts revived for her, and they resolved to make an attempt to get what she desired of them. The first knight sent word to the princess that he was starting out that day on the quest of Buddha's bowl, and he hoped soon to bring it to her. But he had not the courage to go all the way to India, for in those days traveling was very difficult and full of danger. So he went to one of the temples in Kyoto and took a stone bowl from the altar there, paying the priest a large sum of money for it. He then wrapped it in a cloth of gold, and waiting quietly for 3 years, returned and carried it to the old man. Princess Moonlight wondered that the knight should have returned so soon. She took the bowl from its gold wrapping, expecting it to make the room full of light, but it did not shine at all. So she knew that it was a sham and not the true bowl of Buddha. She returned it at once and refused to see him. The knight threw the bowl away and returned to his home in despair. He had given up all hopes of ever winning the princess. The second knight told his parents that he needed a change of air for his health, for he was ashamed to tell them that love for the Princess Moonlight was the real cause of leaving them. He then left his home at the same time, sending word to the princess that he was setting out for Mount Horai in hope of getting her a branch of the gold and silver tree which she had so wished to have. He only allowed his servants to accompany him halfway, then sent them back. He reached the seashore and embarked on a small ship. After sailing away for 3 days, he landed and employed several carpenters to build him a house contrived in such a way that no one could get access to it. He then shut himself up with 6 skilled jewelers and endeavored to make such a gold and silver branch as he thought would satisfy the princess, as having some from the wonderful tree growing on Mount Horai. Everyone whom he had asked declared that Mount Horai belonged to the land of fable and not to fact. Oh, Kyanban-wa, Kyanban-wa, Kyanban-wa. When the branch was finished, he took his journey home and tried to make himself look as if he was wearied and worn with travel. He put the jeweled branch into a lacquer box and carried it to the bamboo cutter, begging him to present it to the princess. The old man was quite deceived by the travel-stained appearance of the knight, and thought that he had only just returned from his long journey with the branch. So he tried to persuade the princess to consent to see the man, but she remained silent and looked very sad. The old man began to take out the branch and praised it as a wonderful treasure to be found nowhere in the whole land. Then he spoke to the knight. How handsome and how brave he was to have undertaken a journey to so remote a place as the Mount of Horai. Hi Yuzu, hello, welcome. No problem. Princess Moonlight took the branch in her hand and looked at it carefully. She then told her foster parent that she knew it was impossible for the man to have obtained a branch from the gold and silver tree growing on Mount Horai so quickly and so easily, and she was sorry to say that she believed it was artificial. The old man then went out to the expected knight, who had now approached the house, and asked where he had found the branch. The man did not scruple to make up a long story. 2 years ago, I took a ship and started in search of Mount Horai. After going before the wind for some time, I reached the far eastern sea. Then a great storm arose and I was tossed about for many days, losing all count of the points of the compass, and finally we were blown ashore on the unknown island. Here I found a place inhabited by demons who at one time threatened to kill and eat me. However, I managed to make friends with these horrible creatures, and they helped me and my sailors to repair the boat, and I set sail again. Our food gave out and we suffered much from sickness on board. At last, on the 500th day from the day of starting, I saw a far off on the horizon what looked like the peak of a mountain. On nearer approach, this provided to be an island in the center of which rose a high mountain. I landed, and after wandering about for 2 or 3 more days, I saw a shining being coming towards me on the beach, holding in his hands a golden bowl. I went up to him and asked him if I had, by good chance, found the island of Mount Horai, and he answered, "Kia beach, welcome to the mountain. This is where the good shit is." I'm kidding. He said, "Yeah, this is Mount Horai." ちょっと水飲みます。I need to drink some water. ちょっと水飲みます。I need to drink some water. お、ソンチョフさん、ヤッホー、キャンバンは、キャンバンは、キャンバンは、キャンバンは、キャンバンは。よいしょ。Let me drink some water. みんなも水飲んでね。Kyandie's Hydration Station. みんなも水飲みましょう。Let's all drink some water. Yum, 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 yum. Just a bunch of dudes wearing a 7-year-old Disney princess dress. Nothing suspicious. What do you mean the candy version? This is the original. This is the original version. Okay. で、続きを。With much difficulty, I climbed to the summit here, stood the golden tree growing with silver roots in the ground. The wonders of that strange land are many, and if I began to tell you about them, I could never stop. In spite of my wish to stay there long, on breaking off the branch, I hurried back. With utmost speed, it has taken me 400 days to get back. And as you see, my clothes are still damp from exposure on the long sea voyage. I have not even waited to change my raiment. So anxious was I to bring the branch to the princess quickly. Just at this moment, the 6 jewelers who had been employed on making the branch but had not been paid by the night arrived at the house and sent in a petition to the princess to be paid for their labor. They said that they had worked for over 1,000 days, making the branch of gold with its silver wings, silver twigs, and its jeweled fruit that was now presented to her by the knight, but they had received nothing in payment. Damn, these jewelers are... They really showed up and they were like, so who's gonna pay for this? So this knight's deception was thus found out, and the princess, glad of an escape from one more importunate suitor, was only too pleased to send back the branch. She called in the workmen and had them paid liberally, and they went away happy. But on the way home they were overtaken by the disappointed man. Oh no. It gets worse. Wait. On the way home, they were overtaken by the disappointed man, who beat them until they were nearly dead for letting out the secret, and they barely escaped with their lives. The knight then returned home, raging in his heart, and in despair of ever winning the princess, gave up society and retired to a solitary life amongst the mountains. Now the third knight has a friend in China, so he wrote to him to get the skin of the fire rat. The virtue of any part of this animal was that no fire could harm it. He promised his friend any amount of money he liked to ask, if only he could get him this desired article. As soon as the news came that the ship on which his friend had sailed home had come into port, he rode 7 days on horseback to meet him. He handed his friend a large sum of money and received the fire rat's skin. When he reached home, he put it carefully in a box and sent it to the princess while he waited outside for her answer. The bamboo cutter took the box from the knight and, as usual, carried it into her and tried to coax her to see the knight at once, but Princess Moonlight refused, saying she must first put the skin to test by putting it into the fire. If it was the real thing, it would not burn, so she took off the crepe wrapper and opened the box and then threw the skin into the fire. The skin crackled and burnt up at once, and the princess knew that this man had also been a lying motherfucker, so the third night failed as well. Now the fourth night was no more enterprising than the rest. Instead of starting out on the quest of the dragon bearing on its head the 5-color radiating jewel, he called all his servants together and gave them the order to seek for it far and wide in Japan and China. And he strictly forbid anyone to return until they found it. Oh, Tsua-sa-san, お久しぶり。お久しぶり。来てくれてありがとうございます。今ね、かぐや姫を英語で読み聞かせやってます。かぐや姫を英語で読み聞かせやってます。Bye Renee, bye Renee, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night. His numerous bitches started out in different directions with no intention, however, of obeying what they thought would be an impossible order. They simply took a holiday, went to pleasant country places together, and grumbled at their master's foolishness. The knight, meanwhile, thinking that his retainers could not fail to find the jewel, repaired to his house and fitted it up beautifully for the reception of the princess. So he felt so sure of winning her. 1 year passed away in weary waiting, and still his men did not return with the dragon jewel. Oh, Aki-san, こんばんは、こんばんは。Hello. こんばんは、こんばんは。The knight became desperate. He could wait no longer, so taking with him only 2 men, he hired a ship and commanded the captain to go in search of the dragon. The captain and the sailors refused to undertake what they said was an absurd search, but the knight compelled them at last to put out to sea. When they had been but a few days out, they encountered a great storm, which lasted so long that, by the time its fury abated, the knight had determined to give up the hunt of the dragon. They were at last blown to shore, for navigation was primitive in those days. Worn out with his travels and anxiety, the fourth suitor gave up himself to rest. He had caught a very heavy cold and had to go to bed with a swollen face. The governor of the place, hearing of his plight, sent messengers with the letter inviting him to his house. While he was there, thinking over all his troubles, his love for the princess turned to anger, and he blamed her for all the hardships he had undergone. He thought it was quite probable she had wished to kill him, so that she might be rid of him, in order to carry out her wish, had sent him upon this impossible quest. At this point, all the servants he had sent out to find the jewels came to see him and were surprised to find praise instead of displeasure awaiting them. Their master told them that he was heartily sick of adventure and said he never intended to go near the princess's house again in the future. Like all the rest, the fifth knight failed in his quest. He could not find the swallow's shell. By this time, the fame of Princess Moonlight's beauty had reached the ears of the emperor, and he sent one of the court ladies to see if she were really as lovely as the report said. If so, he would summon her to the palace and make her one of the ladies in waiting. When the court lady arrived, in spite of her father's entreaties, Princess Moonlight refused to see her. The imperial messenger insisted, saying it was the emperor's order. Then Princess Moonlight told the old man that if she was forced to go to the palace in obedience to the emperor's orders, she would vanish from the earth. When the emperor was told of her persistence in refusing to obey his summons, and that if pressed to obey she would disappear altogether, he determined to go and see her. So he planned to go on a hunting excursion in the neighborhood of the bamboo cutter's house and see the princess himself. He sent word to the old man of his intention, and he received consent to the scheme. The next day, the emperor set out with his retinue, which he soon managed to outride. He found the bamboo cutter's house and dismounted. He then entered the house and went straight to where the princess was sitting with her attendant maidens. Oh my god, he just walked straight into the house. That's so fucking creepy. What the heck? Yeah, I think the princess is a lesbian, to be honest. I think she just didn't want any of the loser guys. Never had he seen anyone so wonderfully beautiful, and he could not but look at her, for she was more lovely than any human being as she shone in her own soft radiance. When Princess Moonlight became aware that a stranger was looking at her, she tried to escape from the room, but the emperor caught her and begged her to listen to what he had to say. Her only answer was to hide her face in her sleeves. Yo, what the fuck? Let her go, bro. That's so creepy. What the heck? That's so creepy. No touching. Get your dirty paws off. The emperor fell deeply in love with her and begged her to come to the court, where he would give her a position of honor and everything she could wish for. He was about to send for one of the imperial palanquins to take her back with him at once, saying that her grace and beauty should adorn a court and not be hidden in a bamboo cutter's cottage. But the princess stopped him. She said that if she were forced to go to the palace, she would turn at once into a shadow, and even as she spoke, she began to lose her form. Her figure faded from his sight while he looked. The emperor then promised to leave her free, only if she would resume her former shape, which she did. It was time for him to return, for his retinue would be wondering what had happened to their royal master. So he bade her goodbye and left the house with a sad heart. Princess Moonlight was for him the most beautiful woman in the world. All others were dark beside her, and he thought of her night and day. I wonder what he was thinking about. probably reading some Princess Moonlight Dojin. His Majesty would now spend much of his time writing poems, telling her of his love and devotion, and sent them to her, and though she refused to see him again, she answered with many verses of her own composing, which told him gently and kindly that she could never marry anyone on this earth. These little songs always gave him pleasure. Ho ho, ho ho ho. What kind of pleasure? あ、こんにちは、にはお。こんにちは、にはお。こんにちは、にはお。キャンバンは、はじめまして、リネットキャンディーです。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。He started writing fanfics, and she responded with her own fanfics. At this time, her foster parents noticed that night after night, the princess would sit on her balcony and gaze for hours at the moon, in a spirit of the deepest dejection, ending always in a burst of tears. One night the old man found her thus weeping as if her heart was broken, and he besought her to tell him the reason of her sorrow. With many tears, she told him that he had guessed rightly when he supposed her not to belong to this world, that she had in truth come from the moon, and that her time on earth would soon be over. On the 15th day of that very month of August, her friends from the moon would come to fetch her, and she would have to return as Sailor Moon. Her parents were both there, but having spent a lifetime on the earth, she had forgotten them, and also the moon world to which she belonged. It made her weep, she said, to think of leaving her kind foster parents and the home where she had been happy for so long. おままさん、ハロー。キャンバンは、はじめまして。キャンバンは。When her attendants heard this story, they were all very sad, and could not eat or drink, for sadness at the thought that the princess was so soon to leave them. The emperor, as soon as the news was carried to him, sent messengers to the house to find out if the report were true or not. The old bamboo cutter went out to meet the imperial messengers. わあ、ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。嬉しいわ。嬉しいわ。嬉しいわ。嬉しい。Last few days of sorrow had told upon the old man. He had aged greatly and looked much more than his 70 years. Weeping bitterly, he told them that the report was only too true, but he intended, however, to make prisoners of the envoys from the moon, and to do all he could to prevent the princess from being carried back. Oh my god. Why is the dad creepy too? Everyone is creepy. The men returned and told His Majesty all that had passed. On the 15th day of the month, the emperor sent a guard of 2,000 warriors to watch the house. 1,000 stationed themselves on a roof. Another 1,000 kept watch round all the entrances of the house. All were well-trained archers with bows and arrows. The bamboo cutter and his wife hid Princess Moonlight in an inner room. The old man gave orders that no one was to sleep that night. All in the house were to keep a strict watch, be ready to protect the princess. With these precautions and the help of the Emperor's men-at-arms, he hoped to withstand the moon messengers. But the princess told him that all these measures to keep her would be useless, and that when her people came for her, nothing could prevent them from carrying out their purpose. Even the emperor's men would be powerless. Then she added with tears that she was very, very sorry to leave. The night wore on. The yellow harvest moon rose high in the heavens, flooding the world asleep with her golden light. Silence reigned over the pine and bamboo forest, and on the roof where the 1,000 men in arms awaited. Then the night grew gray towards the dawn, and all hoped that the danger was over. Then suddenly the watchers saw a cloud form round the moon, and while they looked, this cloud began to roll towards the earth. Nearer and nearer it came, and everyone saw with dismay that its course lay toward the house. In a short time the sky was entirely obscured, till the last cloud lay over the dwelling, only 10 feet off the ground. In the midst of the cloud there stood a flying chariot, and in the chariot a band of luminous beings. One amongst them, who looked like a king and appeared to be the chief, stepped out of the chariot, poised in the air, called to the old man to come out. これはかぐや姫の話です。かぐや姫の話です。今、かぐや姫のおとぎ話を英語で読み聞かせしてます。The time has come for Princess Moonlight to return to the moon from whence she came. She committed a grave fault and as a punishment was sent to live down here for her time. She was not say so, so she was kicked out. But then she became say so. We know what good care you have taken of the princess, and we have rewarded you for this and have sent you wealth and prosperity. We put the gold in the bamboo for you to find. I have brought up this princess for 20 years, and never once has she done something not say so. Therefore the lady you are seeking cannot be this one. I pray you look elsewhere. Then the messenger called aloud, saying, Princess Moonlight, come out from this lowly dwelling. Rest not here another moment. いいですよ。お姉さんの声聞きながらリラックスしてください。Yes, this is かぐや姫。Yes. This is the English translation of かぐや姫。And with these words, the screen of the princess's room slid open of their own accord, revealing that the princess shining in her own radiance, bright and wonderful and full of beauty. The messenger led her forth and placed her in the chariot. She looked back and saw with pity the deep sorrow of the old man. She spoke to him many comforting words and told her that it was not her will to leave and that he must always think of her when looking at the moon. The bamboo cutter implored to be allowed to accompany her, but this was not allowed. Basic bitches could not enter heaven. The princess took off her embroidered outer garment and gave it to him as a keepsake. One of the moon beings in the chariot held a wonderful coat of wings, and had another vial full of the elixir of life, which was given to the princess to drink. She swallowed a little and was about to give the rest to the old man, but she was prevented from doing so. The robe of wings was about to be put upon her shoulders, but she said, Wait a little, I must not forget my good friend the emperor, who I cock-blocked for this whole story. I must write him one more time to say goodbye so that he can simp forever. In spite of the impatience of the messengers and charioteers, she kept them waiting while she wrote. She placed the vial of the elixir of life with the letter. Giving them to the old man, she asked him to deliver them to the emperor. Then the chariot began to roll heavenwards towards the moon, as they all gazed with tearful eyes at the receding princess. The dawn broke, and in the rosy light of day, the moon chariot and all in it were lost amongst the fleecy clouds that now wafted across the sky. Princess Moonlight's letter was carried to the palace. His Majesty was afraid to touch the elixir of life, so he sent it with the letter to the top of the most sacred mountain in the land, Mount Fuji, and there the royal missionaries burnt it on the summit at sunrise. So to this day people say there is smoke to be seen rising from the top of Mount Fuji in the clouds. The end. めでたしめでたし終わりました。終わりました。終わりました。終わりました。めでたしめでたし。はい、英語版のかぐや姫でした。いかがでしょうか。いかがでしょうか。So, did everyone like かぐや姫？富士山登ったことあるよ。前は富士山登ったことあります。5年前かな？登りました。パチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチ。めでたしめでたし。パチパチパチパチ。That was a crazy story, yeah. She never did get a man. I'm pretty sure all of the princes who tried to win her over, I'm pretty sure they all fell in love with each other. And then BL was born. Yes. 大変だった。人生初の山登りで、多分人生最後の山登りになります。もう二度と山登りたくない。お、コアラさん、キャンバンは、キャンバンは、キャンバンは。You want me to read stories all the time? Bit too simpy. She died virgin. どんぐらいの高さまで？一番上まで登りました。一番上まで登りました。めちゃめちゃ綺麗だったな。でも足がなんか疲れすぎて次の日足がなんかもう歩けんかった。バイバイバイバイバイバイバイバイバイバイ。Yeah, it's a nice story. It's not for everyone, but I hope my comments spiced it up a bit. I hope my comments spiced it up a bit. I need to drink some more water. もうちょっと水飲みますね。もうちょっと水飲みます。Let's drink some more water. めちゃくちゃマウスサウンドめちゃくちゃ気持ちいい。 そう、留学生の時だったので、留学生全員で富士山登ろうって考えたんやけどあとはね、みんな死んでた。みんな死にかけてた。My comments made it interesting. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Spirit punk. You cannot punk me. I am the punk master. I am a punk master. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. I am immune to bunks. Bunks don't affect me. I am immune to all bunks. It's disappointing there's no Shrek in the story. I think Medi would die if there was Shrek in the story. How many more stories are you going to read? Let's see. Maybe I can find a short one. My throat hurts a little bit. My throat hurts. ちょっと喉がね、疲れてきた。あと、1個読もうかな。Is there a short one? All of them are so long. Holy cow. Okay, let's read. Let's read. Princesses are like onions. Princesses are like onions. 高速タッピング。はい。何タッピングしようかな。次の話探しながらタッピングしよう。Let me do some tapping while I look for the next story. I'll do one more. あと一つ読みます。ちょっと探してる間に、短いのを探してる間にちょっとタッピングします。これちょっと静かだな。ちょっと待って。なんか静かじゃないやつを。ちょっと待って。よいしょ。ねるさん、キャンバーは。お姉ちゃんの読み聞かせタイム、ようこそ。今日はいろんな日本のおとぎ話を英語版読んでます。Okay. Shrek is not the right man for Medi. タッピング良い。Okay. Let's see. ちょっと待って。短いのはないかな。 I'm looking for a short one. 短いのはあるかな。短いのはあるかな。Three little pigs. The three little piggies. Piggy, 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 piggy. Piggy, 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 piggy. Piggy, piggy. 1 second. Dandelion, are you here? Do you see what I see? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell me which thing is not like the other before I finish this song? 猫浜さん、猫浜さん、ヘロー、ヘロー、ヘロー、ヘロー。寝れねえの？なんで寝れないんだよ。お姉ちゃん頑張って読み聞かせします。読み聞かせするから、頑張って寝てください。寝落ちてください。寝落ちてください。寝落ちてください。寝落ちてください。ポワンク、ポワンク、ポワンク、ポワンク。Okay. You feel a disturbance in the forest. Oh, that's okay, Dandelion. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, let me read this one. This one. これは猿とイノシシの話です。具体的に耳元で聞かされたらダメなの。なんで寝ないの？耳元じゃダメ？お姉さんの読み聞かせ聞きながら寝落ちてください。興奮しちゃあかんからね。興奮しちゃあかんよ。No problem, Dandelion. You can take breaks. You can take breaks. Okay. No, I found it. We are going to read The Sagacious Monkey and the Boar. なんか調べたんやけど、このおとぎ話日本語で具体的に何て呼ぶかわかんないけど、とりあえず猿とイノシシの話ですね。猿とイノシシの話。いきます。Long, long ago, there lived in the province of Shishin in Japan a traveling monkey man who earned his living by taking round a monkey and showing off the animal's tricks. One evening, the man came home in a very bad temper and told his wife to send for the butcher next morning. The wife was very bewildered and asked her husband, "Why do you wish me to send for the butcher? It's no use taking that monkey around any longer. He's too old and forgets his tricks. I beat him with my stick, all I know how, but he won't dance properly. I must now sell him to the butcher and make what money I can out of him. There's nothing else to be done." The woman felt very sorry for the poor little animal and pleaded for her husband to spare the monkey, but her pleading was all in vain. The man was determined to sell him to the butcher. Now the monkey was in the next room and overheard every word of the conversation. He soon understood that he was living with a bunch of backstabbing, no good, deceitful, lying humans, and so he said to himself, Barbarous indeed is my master. Here I have served him faithfully for years, and instead of allowing me to end my days comfortably and in peace, he is going to let me be cut up by the butcher, and my poor body is going to be roasted and stewed and eaten. Oh, this is not a good one to read. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. これはちょっと怖い話やな。ごめんなさい。No, Curious George. Curious George backstory. Woe is I. What am I to do? A bright thought has struck me. I am the main character, and therefore I cannot die no matter what happens. There is a wild bear living in the forest near me. I have often heard of his wisdom. Perhaps if I go to him and tell him what's going on, he will give me his counsel. I will go and try. There is no time to lose. The monkey slipped out of the house and ran as quickly as he could to the forest to find the boar, not the bear. The boar was at home, and the monkey began his tale of woe. Hello, Mr. Boar. I have heard of your excellent wisdom, your big brain energy. I am in great trouble. You alone can help me. I have grown old in the service of my master, and because I cannot dance properly, he intends to sell me to the butcher. What do you advise me to do? I know how clever and big-brained you are. The boar was very pleased at the flattery, and determined to help the monkey. He thought for a little while and said, "Hasn't your master had a baby?" "Oh yes," said the monkey. "He has one infant son." "Doesn't it lie by the door in the morning when your mistress begins the work of the day?" "Well, I will come around early, and when I see my opportunity, I will kidnap the child and run away." "What then?" said the monkey. "The mother will be in tremendous scare, and before your master and mistress know what to do, you must run after me and rescue the child and take it home safely to its parents, and you will see that when the butcher comes, they won't have the heart to sell you." The monkey thanked the boar many times and went home. He did not sleep much that night, as you imagine, for thinking of the morrow. His life depended on whether the boar's plan succeeded or not. Well, actually, it didn't really matter because he was the main character, and he will live anyways. It seemed to him a very long time before his master's wife began to move about and open the shutters to let in the light of day. Then it all happened as the boar planned. The mother placed her child near the porch as usual while she tidied up the house and got her breakfast ready. The child was crooning happily in the morning sunlight, playing on the mats in the light and the shadow. Suddenly there was a noise in the porch and a loud cry from the child. The mother ran out from the kitchen, only to spot the boar disappearing through the gate with her child in its clutch. She flung out her hands with a loud, dramatic cry of despair and rushed to the inner room where her husband was still sleeping soundly. He sat up slowly and rubbed his eyes and crossly demanded what his wife was making all the noise about. By the time the man was alive to see what had happened, they both got outside the gate. The boar had got well away, but they saw the monkey running after the thief as hard as his legs could carry him. Both the man and the wife were moved to admiration at the plucky conduct of the sagacious monkey, and their gratitude knew no bounds when the faithful monkey brought the little brat back to their arms. "There," said the wife, "this is the animal you wanted to kill. If the monkey hadn't been here, we would have lost our child forever." "God damn it," said the man. "I was hoping the monkey wouldn't find the kid." No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's not what he said. "You're right, wife, for once." Oh my god. It literally says "for once" in the text. What a savage. Oh my god. "You're right, wife, for once," said the man as he carried the child into the house. "You may send the butcher back when he comes. And now give us all a good breakfast and make the monkey some sandwiches." When the butcher arrived, he was sent away with an order for some boar's meat for the evening dinner, and the monkey was petted and lived the rest of his days in peace, and his master never beat him up ever again. The end. Magic. 終わりです。猿とイノシシの話ですね。なんか猿が飼い主に殺されるって聞いて、ちょっとイノシシと相談して、イノシシが、じゃあ私が飼い主さんを見てない時に赤ちゃんを連れ去っていくから、その猿さんがもう赤ちゃんを無事に戻したら、もう飼い主さんに殺されないよみたいな話です。で、結局猿は生き残って、イノシシさんは殺されるっていう。面白かった。パチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチパチ。Always the side character gotta die. Big brain side kun. Monkey happy, me happy. Oh my gosh. Pachi pachi? Question mark. Question mark. The wise boar was too fast and got away, because he will come back in season 2 and take revenge on the monkey. Revenge boar. Read a British tale with British accent. Well, once upon a time, there was this little bloke here, and he went to the market here to get some sweeties for his mum, and then he tripped and fell because he's a bloody wanker, and then everyone had a jolly good laugh, and then they all had some tea and crumpets, and then the end. Once upon a time there was a man's tea party. みんなのコメント面白すぎる。You guys are too funny. You're too funny, too funny. Oh my god. Poor Revenge coming to Netflix next summer. Poor Revenge coming next summer. Crumpets are good.サイコは、猿が人間を食べるの？英語版にはそうなかったんだけど、日本語版、猿が人間を食べるんですか？怖い。バイサック、バイバイ。清掃サック、バイバイ。清掃サック。Boris Pumba. Dragon Ball Z. 猿が人間を食べて支配する。違うな、かなり違う。びっくりするんやけど。お姉ちゃんの読み聞かせタイムどうでしたか？ How was お姉ちゃん 's story time? Did you learn something, kids? Did you learn something? Good night, potatoes. Hi, Green Tea. Hello, welcome back. Nice to see you. Welcome back, Green Tea. Hello, Queen Tea. Hello. Nothing was learned today. You always learn something new. Oh. Oneesan story time was great. I'm glad you liked it. Oneesanの読み聞かせタイムはどうでしたか？ I learned that the boar is a very intricate character. Yes. He also kidnaps children. You learned monkey. It was super funny. Oh, I'm glad. you, it seems. Yes. I'm very proud of you. All of you have learned so much. Ada, 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 ada. Ada, 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 ada. 初めてお邪魔しましたか？よかったです。嬉しい。ありがとう。ちゃんと挨拶しなかったんですけど、リネットキャンディと申します。よろしくお願いします。よかったらチャンネル登録もお願いします。そしてまた改めてイベント本当にありがとうございました。初イベントやったのでとても緊張しましたが、みんなが参加してくれて本当に本当にありがとうございます。みんなのおかげで達成しました。 I know I've said it a bajillion times already, but thank you so much for participating in the fan club event and for cheering on the event and helping just by watching me. Thank you, thank you. 猫甘さん、覚えときますね。覚えたよ。次来た時にちゃんと名前呼びます。Thank you so much for participating and cheering everyone on and supporting me. I love you. I love you. I love you. 愛してます。愛してるよ。I can't wait to give everyone who participated their presents and show you the new outfit and the new expressions. キャンちゃんの新衣装と新しい表情をみんなに見せるのすごいワクワクしてます。I'm actually halfway through the design of the new outfit. 新衣装のデザイン半分終わりました。I finished halfway designing the outfit. So next week the outfit will go into production. 来週からキャンちゃんがデザインした新衣装をアーティストさんに提出して、AC さんに提出して書いていただきます。英語上手すぎでしょ。ありがとうございます。実はキャンちゃん英語ネイティブです。日本人じゃないです。英語ネイティブです。英語ネイティブです。Yes, 10K celebration stream will be May 16th. It'll be karaoke and adult juice party. Karaoke and adult juice party. Maybe a week or two, depending on how many other projects they have to work on. But hopefully by the 10K stream, it'll be here. 新衣装楽しみ。ありがとう。メイド服だな。そう。新衣装はメイド服です。ちょっぴりエッチなメイド服です。Oh, thank you, Ivan. I'm glad you're here. Sing Free Bird. I already have lots of song requests, but if I can't fit it into the karaoke stream, I will sing in another karaoke stream. If I can't fit it in the 10K celebration. So, because I already have so many requests. So. Yep. 1万人登録者1万人記念配信は 5月16日にします。時間はまだ未定なんですけど、その日にします。日本語上手すぎ、ありがとうございます。あ、うますぎる。ありがとうございます。お姉さん最高よ、ありがとう。あ、トナカイさん、こんばんは。キャンバンは。お久しぶり。トナカイさんも元気かな？楽しみ。No, I really want to sing everyone's request. It's just I have so many, so the stream will be hella long. And also I don't think I can sing that long without dying, so. The Steve Harvey story is done now for better or worse. Yay! Maybe I'll do Steve Harvey reading sometime this week or next week. I'll do cursed fanfiction reading ASMR. Actually, no, I'll probably be laughing, so it won't be ASMR. It'll just be cursed fanfiction reading. So, yes. Honestly, 応援してくださってありがとうございます。10K stream is gonna be 5 parts. That's true. As long as you sing All Star. No. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. I will take care of it. I will take care of everything. キャンちゃんに任せて頑張ります。Steve Harvey fanfic stream. Oh, jump. Yes, if I know the anime opening, I will sing it. Also, it depends if I can find BGM to use for the stream. BGM that YouTube won't bonk me for, so. Aw, thank you, Medi. Thank you. I'll take care of it. Wink with both eyes. Wink with both eyes. Hopefully, チューしてるみたい。チューしてるよ。お姉ちゃんがあなたの耳にチューしてます。大好きだから。大好きだから。I love you. Okay, I'll put it on my list. I think what I'm gonna do is write everything down and then use like a random like number generator to pick the songs, so that way it's the most fair. People who send super chat song requests, I will sing those for sure, but everything else will probably be number generated. お姉ちゃん大好きだよ。お姉ちゃん loves you. Don't worry, I will sing different ones. If I have to, I will sing a cappella. If I have to, I'll sing a cappella. So don't worry. Hi Strom, hi Strom. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I remember, Jace. I remember. I'm so sorry, Strom. The stream will be ending in a little bit, but at least you came to hear the lullaby at the end. The lullaby at the end. So far, the 2 karaoke streams I've done have been okay, so I'm hoping this one is okay. Yes. Cruel Angel Thesis, for sure. For sure. Medi will definitely not come if I sing Shrek's songs. Somebody once told me the world was macaroni. I know that's not the lyrics, but those are my favorite lyrics. Kyanちゃん眠くなってきたので最後いつも歌ってる子守歌を歌って終わりたいと思います。I'm getting super sleepy, so I think I'm gonna sing the final lullaby and then wrap it up. But I will be back tomorrow night for another stream. I think tomorrow we're gonna play a game or a few games. 明日は久しぶりのゲーム配信しようかなと思ってます。Maybe we'll play some games. Not even Shrek can keep me away. Oh, Medi, you're too sweet. Maybe I can sing Shrek songs in like a really kawaii voice, so that way you'll like it. It'll be like an idol concert, but for Shrek. Okay. Ready. 最後の子守歌いきますよ。You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, when I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I woke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. You Please don't take my sunshine away. I love you. ぐっすり寝てね。お姉ちゃんがずっと見守ってるよ。また明日いっぱい遊ぼうね。I love you so much. Sleep tight, my loves. I will see you tomorrow for a gaming stream where you probably see me fail at games. キャンちゃん、ゲーム実況とっても下手なんですけど、明日やっ